and delete those champions from it. That can be very, very powerful.
Okay.
Galio coming through, so that's really more for the pairing with the Leona. Also, I think gives some additional power to that pick. Huhi on a champion that has a lot of agency. Damonte on something that can roam. I think that Graves' strengths cover up for the weaknesses of Senna quite well. But it does still mean that closer, is going to be having to have a good game here for this team to have enough consistent damage, I think. And, I'm going to be tracking this jungle matchup so heavily because it does feel like Spica's got to get things done in the early stages. And closer, if he gets put too far behind, that'll be very detrimental for him. But likewise for TSM, if Nidalee's not proactive early, it's going to be probably pretty useless late.
Well, it's going to be a fun one here as we are done with the draft. We got global champions again from Damonte here. TF, his most played. Second in line is that Galio. So he's going to go around to those sides. We'll see which ones he can impact there. Leona, Senna, definitely spicy. I'm always a fan of champs with ults that you just kind of layer over the top of the engage. Senna does this, Ezreal does this, Graves does this. So when someone comes in, you're almost always in range to help and try to one-shot that champ. We've seen it work before, and Ashe can be a decent target, and Orianna can be a decent target. Neither have innate dashes in the kit, so they got to walk or they got to flash. And if they're stunned, they can't flash. So I want to see how good the one-shot potential is, how well it's going to go. I agree with you that the jungle matchup seems really interesting. You've got very explosive, high-damage champions. Nidalee, we've seen different builds. We've seen the Athene's Rush, so that she can be supportive right off the bat. We've seen Roa Zonius, so you can be more of a damage threat, and then frontline enough that she's not going to die just for pouncing in ever. So I'm curious what build that's going to be, but you've got a decent coverage of damage profiles, a lot of crowd control on both sides, and a fairly climactic game here. TSM's at do or die.
It's going to be really, really exciting. TSM obviously stepping up in that previous game, having their most dominant game of the series, but that was Huhi off of Engage. He is back on it this time around. They have such a clear target of picking on Doublelift, it feels like. Yes, he's going to play the cleanse, but if you can just immediately go in with the Zenith Blade and Q ult, it's very easy for it to sometimes happen where you cleanse the Q from Leona straight into the ultimate, and then Galio is going to be ulting on your head, and that can be pretty frightening. It does feel like a game with a lot of QSS value with double AP solo laners, magic damage even from the Leona, plus a tremendous amount of CC. So we'll have to find out, if Doublelift is going to be able to survive against that kind of dive. And Bjergsen also, he's going to be very vulnerable here too.
Going to be a fun one to watch for as we get into the Rift and we see what the players are going to be. Wards coming down. Spica, this time around, going to keep his warding trinket. He has just enough time to recall if he wants to switch to a sweeper, but hasn't put his trinket down if he's doing so. Okay, yeah, it's going to be very late in that brush to watch maybe a late invade potential, or it looks like it's going to be on his own blue buff, and it might mean he's going to have some interesting pathing down the line. Golden Guardians mustering up for a late invade, and sure enough, Spica or his analysts have done his homework and said, no, my ward's not here. My ward is elsewhere. It's on the blue itself. You're not going to invade me. I'm going to know. Yeah,
so they won't be spotted by the ward, but initially on the invade, but they will be spotted obviously as they go over towards that blue buff, and this will allow Spica to hopefully, for his sake, be able to get up and start some vertical jungling, take that blue away from his opponents. But that being said, if TSM's bottom lane is pushed in, there's also a defensive ward from Golden Guardians over by their blue buff, so they will know that that is happening, and there is the potential of FBI and Huhi going up and trying to collapse and defend.
All right, closer, in vision, getting his blue buff. We'll see which way Nidalee gets to go as a result of this one. Yes, as you mentioned, bot lane push is coming from the Golden Guardian side. So that is closer's first camp. A few moments behind the Nidalee, but shouldn't be terrible overall as Raptors being killed on both sides. And we'll watch for the coverage as the Leona's running around, goes through the ward near Tri-Brush. Okay, if you are ever leaving your bottom jungle, you'll have to go through the river, the bottom corner of the screen, which, by the way, is warded here as well. And so at this point, they say, okay, Nidalee has not crossed. She has not gone anywhere. She's maybe going to your top jungle, but she's definitely not going to your bottom jungle.
Yeah, it feels like at this point, Spica's basically just going to take the L. He was maybe anticipating that closer would go blue to blue or something like this. He is coming over here, so if he can get there in time, yeah, he can actually smite this away.
It's 2 autos away. 2 autos away. There we go. Smite's going to come in. Closer can't get it. And that's going to be nicely done. Spica brought Broken Blade down. Closer smited to guarantee the chickens were going to be faster. But because of Spica's pathing, he bypassed every single ward. Cloak didn't know he's going to get a smite stolen.
So that is very tight timing. So I really wonder, if Spica had it that well timed out that he was thinking he was going to go blue to red and he would still have time for that, or if he was thinking that he would go blue to blue, anticipating that Spica would go there and try to defend it, and he just thought it would be an undefended red, because that was very close, and like an extra auto or two, from the Mordekaiser leashing that blue buff might have gotten Graves the clear speed to actually have that red done in time. So here's that combo they're looking for. Stun,
easy javelin, easy pounce, a lot of damage, flashes down, and Hauntzer can only take the L on that one, as a 5-minute flash cooldown is going to make him have a rough time in this lane.
Yeah, it's an easy rinse and repeat too, and the wave is pushing away from him, so you're going to be really scared as Hauntzer.
Wow.
They're actually TPing bot side, but it's responded to by Bjergsen, so you can't make his dive happen. So it will just be a trade, and we'll have to see how the minion wave actually kind of shakes out in mid lane to really determine who that was better for. The other thing that actually does kind of go in Golden Guardian's favor is that Damonte already based. So he actually got his buy off already. Bjergsen hadn't gotten back to base, and this is going to push towards Damonte. So it will be bad for Bjergsen on the TP as far as the minions collected, and you won't have a TP to go back to base. So Damonte potentially could keep this shoved in and force Bjergsen to take a poor recall.
And Closer, of course, right on the bottom side of his lane, knows he's not going to be ganked from the southern side, as Spica has not yet done his first recall. Flash trade in the bottom side, but that's generally speaking worth it. A flashless Ashe can be a very easy target.
And this is, pretty much every time they seem to get eyes on Biofrost roaming, they look to punish, right? In the previous game, it was by zoning Doublelift off of minions under his tower. This game, Biofrost moves up. He's spotted by that Tri-Brush ward, and immediately Doublelift has his Flash Force with that trade from huhi. This is something he's been very willing to do throughout the season. Has really looked for these aggressive trades onto the enemy marksman. And Biofrost and TSM in general have just got to try to really make sure that when they are looking for these moves, when they are looking for these roams from Biofrost, that they are not spotted on wards or that they have some sort of other coverage for Doublelift, because he's getting punished every time his support leaves the lane.
Yeah, wanting to stack souls. The auto Q trade with Doublelift is pretty much in his favor. Does the same amount of damage back to him and then heals himself for half of what he took as a trade. Plus the permanent AD stacking. That's going to feel pretty comfortable. Yet to see any recalls out of the mid lane, as Bjergsen's going to take a big chunk of damage, down to half HP onto him. Mana pool a little bit low, but chugs through a biscuit to get some of that back up. And overall, going to catch the farm. You got a 1 CS difference in mid, and Bjergsen finally going to take his recall. Might have lost chapter money or a tier or so here.
Okay, so I think Damonte could have taken one tower shot, and it actually would have been worth it there to stop the recall, because Bjergsen had no TP, and because he had to wait for a cannon wave to not lose a full wave on the recall. I think it's actually worth taking the hit there, but of course you're not sure exactly where Nidalee is, so it would be a little bit risky. So in this case, Damonte takes the safer approach. I think he could have got away with it, but either way, not much of a punish there from Bjergsen. He handles that about as well as he could, and as he picks up the rest of this farm, will have equalized quite a bit, but still that proactive TP down to the bottom side from Damonte, because he had the push, ended up getting him a little bit of an advantage.
Speaking of advantages, 11 CS lead in the bottom lane as Doublelift walks back to the lane and catches some of it. You've got a pretty comfortable item set here for FBI, as he gets, once again, pickaxe plus coal is a decent one there, and Doublelift not quite enough money for the BF sword, it looks like, although I feel like he'd actually have right about the right amount of time. Either way, though, goes for Berserker's Greaves. It's going to help him, of course, dodging Leona, being flashless. You sometimes just go for the more defensible option. But I think he would have had the money for BF if he wanted it. Regardless, who cares? Because this is what he has in this one, as huhi waits around in the mid lane. Spica cannot stop Closer from getting the top scuttle, and a play towards mid is not going to materialize.
Yep, but if they could have gotten that, remember, Bjergsen has no cleanse. So if you land that knockup from Damonte into a taunt, into the Leona lockdown, Bjergsen is just dead. So he's got to rely on wards. He's got to rely on good positioning here. I do want to see Spica and Broken Blade try to repeat on Hauntzer, but honestly, they probably waited too long. They would have had to look for a repeat gank pre-6 because the ganks are just too hard to pull off, honestly, post-6 on Mordekaiser. This is kind of weird that Hauntzer actually stacked the minions there, because it would have actually set up for like a slow push away from him instead of a freeze, since those 3 ranged minions were so close to his turret and low. Either way, yeah, not really going to matter that much, but that does feel like a minor thing that had Broken Blade been wanting to freeze, he would have just set it up for him.
Nice little gauge down here. Biofrost tanky enough. Has gone Guardian, not Aftershock. It's there to help keep the teammates alive a bit more. Of course, it's going to be pretty dive heavy from the Golden Guardian side. With bot pressure, with these amount of mid pressure, first Rick's going to go over pretty early on as well. 7:36 is a pretty early timer regardless. So TSM getting some extra stats here. Bonus armor MR from the Mountain Drake. Cloud is going to be next. And so we're going to have Infernal or Ocean Soul this game, which are the ones that teams tend to prioritize the highest.
Yep. So that'll be pretty exciting to see when Golden Guardians wants to look for the challenge. They may be the team kind of sitting on the back foot as TSM was in some of those first games. You know, in the first game where TSM was the one challenged to get 3 dragons, I wouldn't be surprised to see if Golden Guardians are the ones kind of looking more for that point. Wait till the 2nd or 3rd dragon, try to complete some of your major items, and then use your ultimate combinations here between the Galio, Leona, Mordekaiser, all these super powerful level 6s to try to make things happen. Also note, Biofrost is level 4, huhi is 6. So that is a lot of roam time that he has actually spent away from getting experience, and does mean he's going to be a lot less valuable at this point. And also because he was kind of roaming, that also means Doublelift is missing some of this farm as a result, where he has his flash force. He's got to play a bit more defensively.
End of the day, though, looks like any of the flash forces have been unpunished here, as Hauntzer has not been visited again by the Ghost of Christmas Past or Spica. All the same, he's going to be just fine. And now we get to see Golden Guardians. It's 9 minutes in. Of course they are. They're top side. They're going to play for Rift Herald. They've done this almost every single game in this series. They're trying to stack this one up the best they can. You've got TSM coming around there for the same, and the entire squad's ready to go for this one. This is going to be a fight really, really soon, and the health bar is getting low on Golden Guardians. Down the front line, huhi is tanky, gets the ulti across for the shield, but he's still running out of health. Finds a slow in Bjergsen, finds a Galio, but not before first blood comes through. Smiteable grabs the Rift Herald. They're going to grab that one, but first the fight, and Damonte is death number 2. So Golden Guardians, at best, are going to get 300 gold for the Rift Herald, but they've lost 900 gold worth of kills.
And they might actually lose more here. Easy spear there for Spica against the wall.
That's another kill picked up, so Golden Guardians falling apart later on in the series as TSM. They won Game 3, and they are winning Game 4.
Yeah, that was such a strange split decision, it felt like, from Golden Guardians. Huhi's going for the hard engage, and Damonte's ulting on him, but the rest of the team is looking like they're focused on the Herald. So you just got to kind of watch this. It has to be one or the other. If you want to go for the engage, great, but everyone immediately needs to turn. Like, huhi is posturing for that Zenith Blade and then moving forward. Look where Closer and FBI are. They're still actually hitting the Rift Herald at this point, finishing it off. So your support's already dead before FBI or Closer have even auto-attacked. Closer's picking up the Rift Herald as Damonte is flashing in with the taunt and dying. That is really bad split comms, split communication there. And then as you're trying to go out here, when you're against the wall, it's a pretty much guaranteed spear for the Nidalee because there's no dodging that. TSM coming up big, 3 early kills, almost a 2,000 gold lead here already. That is really punishing for Golden Guardians because this is an engage-based composition. You have got to be on the same page, and they just weren't.
Okay, so Golden Guardians, what can they get? I mentioned Herald being only 300 gold here because it's going to crash in for 2 plates, but you really want it to crash in on the end of a tower dive where you knock down the rest of the turret. Golden Guardians not enough pressure to get a single turret plate all game so far. Sure, neither really have TSM, but Herald is only going to get 2 plates. It's not going to get first turret gold. It's not going to be that 900 gold injection that you can expect off of a winning lane with a Herald coming in. It's just that 300. It's a big difference there, and that means that Golden Guardians are going to be behind, not only as a result of the Herald play, but just overall in this game.
And we'll see where they are going to look for that. There is still the possibility that they try to, coordinate for a play and get a kill, and then Herald off that. Bjergsen with a nice chunk on Damonte will send him packing. He does have TP up. They're not sure if he's going to want to commit it, but they're going to look to try to follow up on the invade here. Remember, Bjergsen did expend his ultimate, so I don't think they want to hard commit to this, but they're just looking to try to take away some of these camps, take away that top side. And as a result, when you have that top side control, Senna as well as Leona may need to just back it up in that top lane because there's always the potential of the dive. So TSM gets mid control, goes into the Raptors, takes top jungle, and now we'll try to threaten that Senna and see if they can make FBI lose some plates or lose some gold or something.
Power is done with the Cutlass slow, making that one part of the trade. Of course, with the Bramble Vest, he can sustain a little bit, but he's sustaining on the Renekton overall, going Rune King as you expect. And plate number 2 going to drop on the top side. Plate's still on for 2 more minutes as TSM has stacked 300 more gold in their favor. And we wait to see what Golden Guardians can do with their own Rift Herald. Only a minute left on that summon. They find the stun, which doesn't matter because Biofrost jumps back to Doublelift, and he's got no problems at all. There just really isn't an engage here as some more poke comes over the wall from Spica, and it will let Golden Guardians wave clear as TSM want to walk somewhere else. The Drake is up in 20 seconds, and TSM would love number 2.
I love series of plays like this because it's showing the power of one play, and when you know how to extend an advantage from a small thing, you can get a lot out of it. Bjergsen gets Damonte low. He didn't even kill him, he just got him low. That got them not only the Raptors, it got them the Krugs because Spica was able to smite that away. It zoned FBI off of multiple minions, and it got them 2 tower plates. So just think about that. Chunking someone out got them essentially a 500 gold swing there, and that is something that is really, really impressive to see, and it does speak to the knowledge of TSM on how to extend.
Orianna's here first. This could be a
shockwave.
The first knockup. Huhi's in the front line. He's tanky enough. The flash away from closer, but he didn't need to. No one's in range of him. Huhi in the front. Galio over the top. They find a lot of damage on Renekton, but he is not yet going away. Death Realm, but it's already too late. 1, 2, 3 kills picked up, and Broken Blade's got no problems at all. It's 4 already. Broken Blade buying some time, gets the heal, gets the reinforcements, gets the shield, and Hauntzer is gonna drop. This is gonna be the Bud Light ace. Golden Guardians have been crushed so far in Game 4.
Golden Guardians in shambles as TSM, the 5-4-0 ace here in game number 4. They are really looking like they've got it going now. Biofrost with the early QSS. Bjergsen holding his shockwave for the perfect timing there, getting multiple kills off. The Nidalee is off to the races here, 2-0 and 600% KP. Let's watch the Bud Light Ace one more time. Bjergsen on the roam, his shockwave has come back, so Biofrost, in you go. Huhi goes over the wall at the same time there, the charm up, and watch how Bjergsen is zoning the backline with the ball while they're just focusing down Huhi. He doesn't commit the shockwave early, he knows they don't actually need to. As Huhi goes down, the rest of Golden Guardians try to move forward to get in range of those other members, but surprise, Bjergsen still had the shockwave, catches both of those marksmen, knocks them down, easy peasy, and TSM play this team fight so beautifully. Golden Guardians get deleted off the map, and they are monstrously behind. Over 5,000 gold, 315 against a team that already has 2 dragons. They are the ones working towards the soul. They are the ones with the enormous gold lead and hard engaged composition that is going to make you scared to approach any sort of neutral objective.
And Azael, closer didn't even summon the Rift Herald in time. He died as it timed out. So they still haven't taken a turret plate the entire game. Technically, Golden Guardians killed Herald, so it's not a perfect game right now. But they have gotten, I mean, nothing done at all. The red side pick going Senna into Ashe hasn't done enough to carry, as you've been mentioning before. Bot lane turret's going to fall likely first here. To the credit of TSM, they are getting this gold up to 6,000. Yeah, that'll be answered partially, because eventually top lane might die. I mean, very slowly by Galio auto attacks, but this is getting out of hand so quick. TSM are crushing right now in this game.
They are. It's looking pretty dangerous, and we'll see what Golden Guardians can do. They have a lot of playmaking, so that is something working in their favor. You know, this is a huge gold lead, but still, if you can get that perfect Leona into Galio combo, you know, you have the Senna ult, the Graves ult, long-range follow-up there, layered over the top. Perhaps you can just delete Doublelift or Bjergsen, and if you can do that, there is still that chance of winning the fight, but it becomes very, very difficult. And when you have plays like what Bjergsen was doing in the previous fight, where he's zoning out the backline so that the front line is sectioned off and being free-fired on by Doublelift and Spica and Broken Blade, it gets rough, but they are looking for a pick here now on Broken Blade, and he is looking pretty well wrapped up, so TSM just going to try to trade topside for it.
Senna ult to grab some more assist credit. Just, you know, give me 100 mana from Presence of Mind. I want, you know, the non-zero KP. Thanks very much. Perfect game, of course, not there from the kills front now either, but Doublelift cheating up in the mid lane, knocking down the turret. Bjergsen doing the same in the top side. TSM about to be 3-1 in turret score, or nearly that, as mid lane is going to be held alive, but no one's going to answer top side, so TSM just grow their gold lead.
And Doublelift over a level ahead. You know, he was 10 when FBI was 8. He just dinged 9 there, but Doublelift, you know, a decent bit into 10. And this is very reversed fortunes from when we saw FBI playing that Caitlyn. And it just has not looked like the same team with him on the Senna. Are looking for a Doublelift there. He does cleanse just the Leona slow. Not sure if he needed to or not because it wasn't stunned, but there are on the Nidalee.
Taunt. Nice stopwatch by some time, so no knockout. Speaking to be pretty safe on this one. Protobelt in for more damage, but there's just no way out. Just out in time. Ashe arrow a quarter second too late. Doublelift cannot force the kill on Damonte, but still slowed, able to walk away.
And they're going to get mid lane turret for free. We'll see if they can get 2 towers, because Damonte's got a base. The first one is a foregone conclusion. They can actually kill it before the charge, and then we're going to have the full HP Herald charge for the mid lane tier 2. So TSM looking to continue to extend this advantage. We'll see if they want to stick around or if they'll allow it to charge in. Looks like the call is just to back it up, not risk anything, but they have that tower very low, so they can come back and grab that pretty soon. I think they want to reset early to make sure that they are continuing to maintain vision around that dragon area, try to clear out as many wards as possible. You know, they have the 6,000 gold lead here. Bjergsen looking towards that Spellbinder, so perhaps looking for the faster completion compared to that death cap, wants to have it ready for the next fight.
All right, groups around the mid lane. Golden Guardians trying to get some gold in their pockets before it's too late. Finally getting their second turret down. Bot lane is low. That can be answered before too terribly long. But it's 8-2 in kills. The question is, can they find the way to team fight? Ulti's up on almost all fronts, and by the time the Drake is alive, Doublelift will certainly have his, as will FBI. Damonte is going to be close. It'll be with 10% CDR, it's likely okay. And we'll see as people move around what's going to happen next. Mid lane turret, of course, very, very low. That way is going to be answered by FBI and huhi. TSM instead move top side, looking at Damonte. 3v1 up here. Drake in 50 seconds. It's not instantaneous. They don't have to go right away, but they are going to maybe bleed some map control to play for top lane instead.
So Bjergsen pushing this in. They are controlling this top lane area, as you say. That will cede some control down around this Dragon Pit. Perhaps they don't want to fight for it just yet, and they want to just try to extend their gold lead. They are looking like they're pushing for the top lane tier 2. They're not posturing towards the Dragon, so maybe TSM's plan is take mid lane tier 2, take top lane tier 2, extend the gold advantage, give up one Dragon right now. Broken Blade, you are very much on the weak side, so he's got to get out of there, but all of Golden Guardians is coming down. We'll see if he can possibly escape.
Shouldn't be allowed to live. Sidesteps the ulti, really good reflexes there, but he's still alone, going to be under the turret, pops his own ult. It's going to be huhi frontlining. He's very, very tanky with F-Shock on. Gets stunned, should survive the turret shots. I don't think he needed his stopwatch, but he will walk away no problem. End of the day, it's not that much burned. However,
everything.
Yes, top lane tier 2 is gone. Mid lane tier 2 is gone. In general, turret kills are worth about a champion kill worth of gold. In map control, they're worth more. So let's look at this one. Okay, 2 turrets picked up. On the other side, 1 turret, 1 kill, and a Drake. That's an okay trade.
Yeah, they're losing their whole topside jungle as well, but from a losing spot, I will admit I think it's okay for Golden Guardians. They are 6,000 gold behind, so being able to grab the Dragon, that's pretty nice. It did seem like TSM had kind of made that decision, just give up the Dragon and continue to go towards some more item completions, maybe feeling like they're going to be in a better spot, in 5 minutes at that next Dragon. You can see the QSSs coming in here. No one going to be ignoring that. Not only is it fantastic against the Mordekaiser, as we've talked about so many times, there's the CC out of the Galio, the Leona, the Senna route. Like, you're always going to have something in QSS, so I think it's just fantastic. Bjergsen has now finished the Spellbinder, so he has the Merc Treads, he has the Phase Rush plus the flat move speed on that Spellbinder, as well as the active AP and move speed. So he's going to have a lot of ability to sidestep things in these fights if he can really pilot his character perfectly.
So interesting to watch this game play out, because to the point about the trade and whatnot, and as the items come through, of course, it's going to feel good for TSM. On the scoreboard, I would say that trade is pretty equal, right? I think that's still defensible in terms of like gold and the Drake is being a little bit useful. But in terms of how this game's going to play out, Baron is on the map and there are no turrets in top or mid. The lanes around Baron. It is going to be so hard for Golden Guardians to get enough vision to face check through all of the fog of war to look at Baron ever. I feel like TSM might have an easy time doing a Baron setup. TP coming down to the bottom side as Hauntzer wants to start the one going against Broken Blade with the reinforcements coming soon. Not a lot of good ways out. A flash to get away from the pull, but he's still on top of the enemy squad, and that is a 1 kill for nothing. TSM might try to re-engage, but that's going to be difficult. Global Senna ult available.
And Bjergsen is cut off. They're just going to turn on Bjergsen now. He is captured here.
Galio over the top. Flash can't get him away. Shockwave buys a bit of time, and you got to be kidding. He walks away with his life. Closer's in danger, so is Hauntzer. A double kill for the Spica. This is the Nidalee that people were looking for. And it's time for a bit more. TSM walking in now towards huhi. Half health and Leona trying to walk away. More slows coming in to taunt. Puts Biofrost sub 15 health. And it will be a kill for Damonte. The re-engage for Spica. The re-engage for Doublelift. And huhi will lose his life. FBI could be next. He is gone. Golden Guardians base open up. It's TSM knocking.
Scrim Nidalee has arrived. Spica popping off in this game. Bjergsen barely able to survive with the peels from Biofrost with the Seraph shield. That was so close to him instantly dying, but that is your gold lead in action. TSM scraping through, and as the rest of the team committed over to taking out Bjergsen, Doublelift and Spica just tore through the other side. TSM winning an enormous fight, getting the Baron, very close to working there for Golden Guardians. That was a dicey fight, but TSM come out on top, and it feels like this is their game to lose now.
Yeah, absolutely. The one Drake doesn't seem to matter right now. The gold is in their pockets. They are ready to win this one. Bud Light Ace, let's watch that replay.
All right, let's watch this one more time. I like the turn on Bjergsen because he was separated from the team, but just not quite enough damage. The Shockwave pulling Damonte back away from him was timed perfectly from Bjergsen, and then the shields from the Rakan, plus the Orianna E, plus everything else. They're looking for the pick on Bjergsen. They've got no flash, and Biofrost could go here. He has his ultimate really soon.
Stun on Mord. Mord ult down for a few seconds. It's just back now. He would have loved to target Biofrost and couldn't do so. And it's TSM with complete control. Yeah, he'll respawn in time for the Drake, sure. But your gold lead is 10,000. You've got Baron buff on. You're going to take so much of this base.
They really are. And we see the push coming through here. Bjergsen now going towards the death cap. Doublelift is really strong this game. He is looking very good on the Ashe the last couple of games. You know, he is 3 levels up on FBI. The Senna just isn't working here for the Golden Guardians, and TSM are closing in on this game. 3 level 14 characters right here. The highest on Golden Guardians is 12. Look at these guys. They're just heavily outstatted purely from the levels.
Everyone's up 1,000 gold except for the supports right here. It's everyone is ahead. Here comes a double slow, not a stun. Now on a Doublelift, looking for the engagement. They don't quite have all of it. Hauntzer in the back line, looks for Bjergsen and can't do a whole lot. Still trying for Doublelift. They will find that first kill, but Hauntzer will trade his life. A 1-for-1 against Baron is not a bad play, but it's going to be more than that one. There's the knockup. There's the kill. Biofrost loses his life. Shockwave pulls one back in. It's a 3v3. Make it a 3v2. The taunt is not going to mean a lot. Spica's going to stay alive through this one. Damonte is not. There is the ace, a triple kill for Bjergsen. The ace for Broken Blade just 4 minutes after the last one. And TSM are ready to push right in to close out game 4. And it's a fast one. We're 24 minutes and 10 seconds in. And TSM are bringing us silver scrapes.
TSM will not go quietly into the night, forcing the Game 5, challenging Golden Guardians here and threatening the reverse sweep to keep their world's dreams alive. 7-0-10. Nidalee performance from Spica. 7-0-10 from Bjergsen.